Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Emma Borders and today we are going to be talking about very basic terms and words that are used in music. As a music teacher, I have had the privilege to teach many beginner players that have never played music before, weren't familiar with music, haven't come from the music world, and so therefore they don't know some of these basic terms, basic words that we throw around a lot. And that's okay. How are they supposed to know? Music is its own language. It has its own rules. It has its own terms and words that are used when we're talking about music. And so that's what this video is, very basic things that you might know already and you might not know. But these are words that you should know and that will be very helpful for you to know as you progress in your music journey. And from now on, if somebody says one of these words, you can be like, I now know what that means. I'm not lost anymore. But anyway, enough of me rambling on. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. We're gonna start off just super basic. When you hear the term melody, I like to explain melody as the part of a song that you would sing. If you are singing a song, the melody line is what you're going to be singing, and it's typically what is played one note at a time. Even sometimes in instrumental songs, if you were to sing a part of that song, you're most likely going to sing the melody. And every song has some kind of melody in it. It's the part of the song that you sing, it's the part of the song that will get stuck in your head. This is in opposition to chords or the harmony of a song. So when we say chords, we're referring to multiple notes that are being played at one time. That is a chord, and chords pair with the melody because they support the melody. They are what you hear in the background underneath the melody. The melody is normally the most prevalent, and then the chords, the harmony, is going to be in the background, and it's going to be all of those other notes that are supporting that main melody line. When we play chords, we are playing multiple notes at one time. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to move on to talking about the key. So you are going to hear this term key all of the time in music. What a key is, so the full term is actually a key signature, and every single song has one. Every single song that you will ever hear has a key or key signature. They're the same thing. I'm not going to get in too deep with this one because we could go down a very long rabbit trail of music theory in trying to explain this. But the key determines what notes are going to be used in your song. So for instance, the key of C, that's how it's referred to many times, the key of blank, whatever key you're in. So for instance, the key of C would use all of the white keys on a piano. Most of us are familiar with the concept of a piano or keyboard. We've got the white keys and we've got the black keys, and all of these keys together symbolize all of the different notes that are available to us, but we have to pick a key in order for our song to sound good. If you use all of the notes on the piano all together, you would get a very mismatched tone. It would not sound very pleasing. So we use a key to designate which notes we're going to be using in each key. So for the key of C, we would only use the white keys of the piano. And every single key has designated notes that you are allowed to use in that key so that it sounds pleasing and so that the notes fit together. Okay, moving on to sharps and flats. You're going to hear these quite quite a lot, and we'll start with sharp. So sharp looks like this, and a sharp makes a note go up. It makes the pitch of the note, what the note sounds like, it makes the pitch of the note go up slightly, just like I've heard it explained, as if you were walking on the ground, something sharp is sticking up, and you accidentally step on that thing. What are you gonna do? You're probably gonna jump up, right? And probably shout in pain if it was a needle or something. Hopefully not, but sharp, just like if something sharp is on the ground, it makes the notes go up, just like you would go up. And then we have flats, and a flat looks like this, a little lowercase b. If you ever see it on music, that's what it looks like. Same with sharp. These things will be written in music to tell you if they're sharp or if they're flat. A flat, just like a flat tire loses air, a flat makes a note go down in pitch. You'll hear this term a lot in singing. Sometimes you'll hear people say they were flat or they sounded flat, and that means that they weren't quite hitting the note. They were just under the note, not quite there. That's what that means. We've already talked about key signatures. We actually have another kind of signature in music, and this is our time signature. Our time signature tells us how many beats are going to be in a measure. A beat is how we measure how fast and how we would count out our song rhythmically. So beats have to do with the rhythm of your song. The most common time signature is going to be 4 beats in a measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we start back over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. A vast majority of songs have this time signature, and we actually call it 4/4. So there's 4 beats in every single measure. Another common time signature that you might hear would be 3/4, and that means we have 3 beats in every single measure. So we would count 1, 2, 3. Those are our beats. 1, 2, 3. Then we start back over. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We also have a time signature that's called 6/8, and that means that we have 6 beats in a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The time signature is very important for you to know so that you know how to count out the rhythm of your song, how many beats are in each measure, so that you can stay on track with the song, and if you're playing with others, you can stay on track with them. Now we're going to talk about some of the things that you might encounter if you're looking at music. Now these things apply to tab as well as sheet music, so it doesn't matter which one you're looking at, they apply to all of them. In music, we have what's called the staff. The staff is the 5 horizontal lines, or the 4 lines if you're looking at tablature. Now we have lines of staff, so you'll see, at the top of your music, the first line, that's what we call it, a line, and we have the second line, the third line, fourth line, so on, so forth. Within these lines of the staff, we have what are called measures. Measures are indicated by small vertical lines on the staff. You might have typically around 4 measures in each line of music, but this depends on how many notes you have in your song and whoever notated the music. Sometimes in your music, you will have indicators, small little indicators in your music of the measure numbers, and we use this to keep track of where we are in our song. So sometimes you might hear somebody say, let's start at measure 12, or let's start at measure 32. That will help you to count out how many measures are in your song and find where you need to be. Sometimes these are not in your music and you just have to look at it and literally count out every single measure, which is a pain. but that's what we call measure numbers, and that's where they can be found. Well, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you found this helpful. Maybe you already knew these terms, and if so, good for you. You're doing good. But if you didn't, then hopefully you learned something new and are able to put these things into practice. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, comment down below any questions you might have. If I did not explain anything very clearly, comment that down below and I will do my best to get back to you. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss any more content from me. And I will see you guys next week in my next video.